Alright guys, welcome to the gym space. Today we're talking about Major Fitness and specifically all the different attachments Major Fitness makes for their power cages. I want to cover some of the good ones, some of the bad ones, which ones you should buy and shouldn't buy, and hopefully you can be more informed if you're making a purchase on a power cage or if you want to buy some of these attachments. And if that is the case, there is a link in the description that is an affiliate link. It helps me out on this channel by giving me a small percentage of that and doesn't cost you anything more, so why not check that out? Now with that being said, when you do purchase any of these pieces of equipment, Major Fitness uses 2x3 posts or sometimes 2x2 posts, so make sure you're clicking on the right attachment to find out the correct price and if it will fit your power cage, and I'll cover some of that as we go, so let's get right into this. Now, before we go any farther, I have to show you guys my wall. I definitely recommend trying to figure out some type of a setup if you do buy a lot of different attachments that you can hang these on because they do get in the way and they can crowd up your gym space pretty quick. This is the solution I went with, and you can see as I pan over some of this here, this is something that's a little bit more fun and creative, and you get to find something that fits your gym space the best. Well, I couldn't demonstrate how to use this because Chloe wanted to sit on here as well. So while I talk about this, she's gonna be hanging out with us. So this leg extension machine is coming in around $360 right now when I just checked their website. And does it hold up to that price? I think yes. This is definitely a good attachment. And when it comes to using this machine, I know there's a lot of different exercises you can choose for lower body, from things like lunges, squats, deadlifts, split squats, step-ups. I mean, you can obviously keep going. There's nothing that quite isolates the quad and hamstrings like a leg extension or a hamstring curl. But how does this attachment execute? For leg extension, it does a great job. I'd give it like a 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. Hamstrings are still good. When I first saw someone demonstrate how to use this for hamstring curls, I really thought it didn't look very effective. Now, it's not as good as the leg extension component of this, but it still is a very effective way to train the hamstrings. So overall, this one's definitely a thumbs up and is definitely at the top of the tiers of pieces that I would add to make my home gym space really feel more well-rounded. Let's move on to the next one. Hop down. Do you need a hand? Here, let me help you. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Good job. Good job. All right, so this next attachment we're talking about is the multifunction pull bar. This is supposed to be your Swiss Army knife of bars for all sorts of different back movements that you can do. You can adjust the width and the grip angle. I didn't think this would be an attachment I use very often, but it actually ended up being pretty useful, and the ergonomics and the comfort on the wrists are top tier. You don't need this bar, but it does create a better quality of life because it's so easy to move in between each movement you're doing. In the piece on front of this that looks like it's coming right for my face, you can put that on the end of a bar and use this for a bent over row, and you can see me demonstrating that right here. So my biggest knock on this piece of equipment is that when it's hanging out down here and just kind of low or even high, I can't tell you the number of times I've ran into this thing. It's pretty big, but right now this is running roughly $190. Is it something you need? Do you have other attachments? If you don't have any attachments, this could be really helpful. If you have a bunch of other attachments, maybe skip out on this one. All right, let's move on to the next one. This here is the shoulder lateral raise attachment, and I'm a big fan of this. If you guys follow the channel at all, I've talked in the past about really trying to develop wider and bigger shoulders because it definitely gives a larger appearance. So I'm always trying to find different and innovative ways to crush my deltoids. And this is a great option. I like side raises, they can be effective, but they're not the most effective way to train the deltoids. And I've discussed before how the tension at the bottom of a standard side raise is very limited. This here changes the resistance profile by distributing the weight away from the midline so the tension increases at a faster rate as you start the side raise. Now, I still say that some of the best versions of side raises are with just your standard cables, hooking the cable up low, but this is a really good option. Now, it's currently coming in around $270. Is that worth it? I'm gonna let you guys decide. For someone like myself who loves crushing shoulders, I'm gonna say yes. But for you, you can still get a great and effective workout with just dumbbells, or if you do have a machine with cables, there's some really great ways to train those shoulders And make sure you head over to the channel after this and check out some of those videos. But overall, 2 thumbs up. Moving on. All right, now we're gonna talk about a quality of life improvement that really makes the Smith machine and the whole power cage feel like a top tier piece of equipment, and that's going to be the added weight stacks. This will be the most expensive add-on out of everything on these machines. It's coming in around $870 as of right now for both weight stacks on both sides. The way that this machine originally came is you load plates on the outside. That's fine. It gets to you after a while, constantly loading plates on and off, going from something like a pull down that you can do a lot of weight on into something like a tricep extension or a lateral side raise on the cable machine. That goes all the way up to 170 pounds. I will say when I do pull downs on this, it's still not enough weight. So there are additional pins that are extenders that have then the weight horn that you can load weights on the outside. That's what I use to try to load this a little bit heavier. Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it, but do you need it? No. I definitely recommend if you buy one of these machines, maybe go without the weight stack until you no longer want to do that, until it starts to kind of get to you after a while, and then you'll definitely be much more appreciative of having the weight stack. And after getting the weight stacks and the aluminum pulleys, which I'm about to talk about, it really took this whole power cage, this B52, to the next level and made it feel much more like a premium piece of equipment. So that's what we're gonna go to next, is the aluminum pulleys. So what you see here are the aluminum pulleys, and these are exactly what they say they are. The point of them are to make this machine feel a little bit smoother, and I don't think they're necessary because overall this actually is a pretty smooth machine even without these aluminum pulleys. But like I said just a little while ago, it does give it a much more premium feel, and I will say it looks pretty cool as well. So I'll try to let you guys be able to hear this. As I rep this out, there is very little to no friction as I do a tricep extension. It's another quality of life improvement that's just simply trying to make this feel like a more premium machine. Do you need it? No, you don't. Now, currently on their website for the B52, this is $150, but it's different for each machine because there's a different number of pulleys. So depending on which machine you have, make sure you check that out ahead of time so you know if you might be paying a little bit more or you might be paying less, because there are a few that are a little bit cheaper. Moving on. Now, these lever arms can be a really cool tool if there's something that you can find purpose for, or maybe you're specifically training for explosiveness. Maybe you're looking for more of a chest press machine style of movement. You can even turn this into pulls where you're actually doing like a row. Obviously, this isn't really set up to do that perfectly right now, but there's a lot of options with these lever arms. Are they worth it? That's totally up to you if you have specific movements that you want to mix into your repertoire. These are $400, but I will say that they definitely feel like they're worth the cost. They're really solid. They have a lot of functionality, and you could see how smooth this actually is. Me just simply changing the angle I want to press at or I want to pull at. This can be really easily moved around and adjusted even with a load on this. So if I want to push across my body a little bit more, I can do that. So if this is something specifically that you want in your home gym space, then at $400, it's probably worth it, but probably not one of the first attachments I would get. All right, moving on to the last attachment here. All right, guys, so here is the final attachment, and these are the Monolift arms. These are really cool attachments. I was super excited anticipating these to come in the mail, and I will say when they showed up, I was a little bit let down. First off, I did see on a Facebook post that someone else had the same problem where the springs in these arms didn't want to shoot all the way back when they used them. I ended up solving that by going to Lowe's, buying $4 springs and adding additional springs for more tension inside of these. I think I was pretty much able to mitigate that being a problem. I was also kind of let down because it's not as effective or as helpful in my benching or my squatting as I thought it might be. Now, the point to this is that if you're doing a squat, you don't have to take a step back. You can go right to squatting because these bars will shoot right out of the way for you. Same thing with your bench press. So instead of lifting off over your shoulders, then moving out to the chest and starting your press, this will actually move out of the way so you can just start pressing. Maybe I'm just so used to using it the exact same way I have always used it, where I just give myself the lift off. This just doesn't seem like as effective of a tool. I think it's a really cool idea. It's not that it's executed poorly, maybe it's just not as effective as I thought. And at $170, this is not a must-need piece of equipment, but I do think it's pretty cool to have tried out and to use on occasion. I meant to make this video months ago, but I kept saying, well, I'm gonna get this attachment, I'll just wait till I get that one. And now I finally make this video, and the day I decide to film this, they come out with a brand new attachment, some new spotter arms. This is what they look like on screen here, but I'm really excited to hopefully get these at some point, and if that is the case, I will definitely post a video, let you guys know my thoughts on those. I hope you guys found some value in this video. Remember, those links are in the description. If you purchase through there, I really appreciate it. If not, just hit that like button. Consider subscribing to my channel. I make a lot of fitness content. I cover some equipment stuff, but I also really enjoy breaking down the science behind different topics, hence the name Science-Based Fitness. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Also, YouTube says this video right here is the best for you of my channel, so click the video, check it out, and we'll see you guys in the next one.